Too easy. It's too easy. Too easy.
That's right. Gervonta, Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Career's not over just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. It's not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds, 2 minutes with a dickhead. You know what I mean? No disrespect. But, you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight. This is a still.
Floyd Mayweather has finally spoken out about the much-hyped showdown between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul. In his first public remarks, Mayweather didn't hold back. He praised Tank's devastating power and elite skills, calling him a dangerous force in the ring. But when it came to Jake Paul, Floyd voiced serious doubts, questioning whether Paul's rapid rise is due to real boxing ability or simply the circus surrounding his persona.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Mayweather doubled down, making it clear that Paul cannot compete with elite-level professionals. While he acknowledged Paul's ability to draw crowds and build a fan base, Floyd stressed that true champions spend years mastering their craft, something Paul hasn't done. Mayweather warned that if Tank were to fight Jake, it would only make sense for money, not credibility. A win would add nothing to Tank's legacy, while a loss would be catastrophic.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there are many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Many boxing insiders share that skepticism. British heavyweight Dave Allen dismissed the fight as nothing more than a payday stunt, insisting Tank would destroy Paul easily. Promoter Eddie Hearn echoed those views, suggesting Davis may be chasing money rather than legacy, perhaps even half-checked out of the sport.
You do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
Allen went further, pointing to the major weight difference between the two. Paul fights at cruiserweight, while Davis is a natural lightweight. According to Allen, that kind of mismatch damages boxing's credibility and takes attention away from real, competitive matchups. He also touched on rising prospect Moses Itama, stressing that young fighters need to face experienced opponents like Dillian Whyte to prove themselves.
Might be happening in an exhibition. Thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight, I did not like. The Chavez fight was just farcical because he's 10-11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting MMA guys, again, he's fighting people that aren't do the same, they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury. the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think his area title level. I think he works really hard. I think he trains hard. And I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter. With his experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that.
Boxing writer Keith Hick also weighed in, pushing back on the idea that Davis is ducking Jake Paul. He argued the real story is Tank's mandatory obligations, such as a rematch with Lamont Roach, not some YouTube crossover fight. Hick said framing Davis's choices as avoidance is misleading and distracts from legitimate boxing business.
Well, I think as we discuss this, we should use air quotes when we call it a fight, because I don't see how any athletic commission, in this case the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, could sanction this as a legitimate boxing match. I think it has to be treated as entertainment to some degree, because you can't put someone they're 65 pounds apart in weight for the most part now. If you look at the cruiserweight limit and the lightweight limit, even if Jake Paul somehow got down to, let's just say 180, and I'm not sure that he'd be able to do that at this point because he's fought so high in weight. Let's just say he got down to 180. They're still 45 pounds apart in weight, and that's just not safe. So if this were to be treated as some sort of, even though they're calling it an exhibition, a legitimate athletic event, I don't know how you could do that, because it's just not safe for someone that big and someone that small to fight each other. That's why they have weight classes. And I just don't understand. I do understand that Netflix is into tentpole events, and people will watch this because they're into the spectacle of it all, and it will draw eyeballs. But does anything that anyone pitches that people will watch, does that make it a good idea?
UFC boss Dana White, on the other hand, gave Jake Paul credit for his promotional skills. In 2024, White admitted Paul had brought attention to boxing and kept fans engaged. He even praised Logan Paul as brilliant for the way he's drawn eyes to combat sports. Despite personal differences, White acknowledged the Paul brothers' undeniable impact on the fight game.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me for the next 5 years for cocaine if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that. But other than when me and Jake Paul have gone back and forth with each other, I've never said anything to defame him. And then when he was talking about his fights being fixed, I don't think that people are actually saying that they're predetermined outcomes, that they're fixing the fights, with predetermined outcomes. They're saying, if you're fighting a 60-year-old fucking guy that can barely walk to the fucking ring, right, and almost died 2 months before that, it's almost like a predetermined outcome. That's what they're fucking saying.
Looking ahead to the fight itself, set for November 15, 2025 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, many see Jake Paul with a built-in advantage. Davis, though 30-0 with devastating knockout power, is giving up roughly 65 pounds and nearly 8 inches in height. At 6 feet 1 inch, Paul towers over the 5 feet 5.5 inches Davis. While Tank's speed and explosiveness are world-class, the size gap in an exhibition could make things difficult. If Paul uses his reach and strategy effectively, some believe he could shock the world.
Man, this fight has to be the most talked about thing that's going on in sports right now. And this fight has made us all hypocrites, really, and I'll tell you why. Also, I got to tell you guys who I think will win the fight and why I think Jake Paul wins the fight. I think either Jake Paul wins or it's a draw.
No way.
Since it's an exhibition, and we'll talk about that. When you saw at the beginning, This fight is just impactful. And as boxing pugilists, many of us, we hate this shit. But as boxing fans, you want real shit, right? You see, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. But then, what you really want is what you're getting out of like Brian Norman Jr. and Devin the American Dream Haney.
Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. Shut up. Your motherfucker. Shut up. Security at? Shut up. Shut up. Where the fuck your security at, nigga? I don't need right here. Yeah, what's up? What's up, nigga? Bitch ass nigga. You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch. Yeah, all right.
You have Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys. I'm talking about huge fans of Tank. Turning over on him, I saw Tank Davis fans put up pictures of him as a clown and shit. Like, this is crazy. And I get it, I totally get it, but at the same time, it has revealed a huge amount of hypocrisy. Because guess what? With everybody talking about this fight, and I see people talking about the fight who doesn't even watch boxing, especially those who don't watch boxing, let's keep it real. This is a fight for the casuals, okay? But at the same time, with so many people talking about this fight, good or bad, the way the internet just erupted and all the socials just went crazy, this fight is going to be one of the biggest fights in...
Lamont Roach Jr. didn't hold back his criticism. He blasted Davis for choosing a cash grab exhibition over their highly anticipated rematch. Roach accused Tank of prioritizing money over meaningful competition and reminded fans that their last fight ended in a controversial draw. If Davis doesn't honor the rematch, Roach hinted he may pursue a showdown with undefeated WBC lightweight champ Shakur Stevenson instead.
I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance.
Meanwhile, fans and analysts continue to ridicule the Paul versus Davis matchup. Critics highlight the massive 65-pound and 8-inch gap, dismissing it as a circus act more fitting for pro wrestling than boxing. They argue the fight undermines the sport's integrity, prioritizing money and spectacle over competition. Still, a few admit the bizarre mismatch holds a strange kind of curiosity value, even if it leaves purists shaking their heads.
Boxing Doctor News. Hold on to your seats, boxing fans. The fight we've all been waiting for is finally happening. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis this November in Atlanta. But here's the twist. There's a massive weight difference. Paul, a cruiserweight, against Davis, who's never even hit 140 pounds. Is this fair? Is it safe? And get this. We don't even know if it's an exhibition or a sanctioned fight yet. But one thing's for sure, there will be a definitive outcome. So, who's got more to lose? The YouTube sensation or the lightweight champ? And what about those Anthony Joshua rumors? Looks like we'll have to wait till 2026 for that showdown. This is boxing's biggest mismatch or the upset of the century in the making. What do you think? Drop your predictions.
Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao has offered a more balanced perspective. He acknowledged Jake Paul's talent, saying, "He can fight, he can be a boxer." However, Pacquiao stressed that the sport should focus on competitive, evenly matched bouts, not exhibitions. He also issued a challenge of his own, saying he would face Tank Davis at 145 or 147 pounds if Davis is willing to step up in weight.
You're talking about Gervonta Davis as a possible fight, man. You like that fight because he's little, like he's your size.
I like that. I like that. I mean, I like that, but let's finish first this one because this one is a taller champion like that. So I have a lot of things to do in training camp.
Is there ever any possibility that you would go back in the ring and fight someone like a Tank Davis?
If you want, and if he come up to 147, then we can fight.
He can't meet you at 140?
145 maybe.
What happens? You have a lot of experience, but he's explosive. What would happen in that fight?
Oh, that's not a problem for me because I'm experienced fighter.
Back in December 2024, Tank Davis announced plans to retire after 2025, citing frustration with the pressures of boxing. Yet here he is, agreeing to face Jake Paul in a Netflix-streamed exhibition on November 14, 2025, in Georgia. The size difference has many wondering if Tank is serious about competition or simply cashing out.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Gervonta.
At a recent press conference, Davis himself seemed to answer that question. I grab money, I'm out. Promoter Eddie Hearn agreed, suggesting Davis may already have one foot out the door. For Tank, this fight could be less about legacy and more about one final payday before walking away from the sport.
Let's get back to it, man. Real Winners TV, like, subscribe. You know my slogan, man. Tank Davis, man, versus Jake Paul, man. What a great fight. What a great Davis and Goliath type of event. You know what I'm saying? Straight from Netflix. It's going to be in Atlanta. It's going to be packed. You know what I'm saying? The State Farm Arena. It's going to be packed. I've been to ATL. It's going to be packed out there. Tank never fighting again. He's never fighting none of y'all guys again, man. You know what I mean? Once he get to 30, 40 million, maybe a 50. I mean, if he get 30, 40 million, somewhere around Tyson numbers, it's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming back to fight Lamar Roach again. No, for what? I can't even get to them darkest places to fight this dude. He's boring. He's quiet. He don't say too much to get me going. Shakur Stevenson, the same thing. You used to be my boy. We used to be cool. Now, when I got to a certain level, you want to fight and take my belt. There's certain ways you go about that, and that's why Tank don't like that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? That's why he don't like them niggas, because they always cool, you know what I'm saying? So, you know how it is when you're young and you're cool, you think niggas is your boys, and all of a sudden niggas want to fight you, you feel some type of way, though, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's the business, though, but it's the way I go about these things, you know what I'm saying? But we can fight, get this money, and we both still can be cool, you know what I'm saying? But Tank felt like it was some disrespect there, so you gotta remember, Tank came in the game under Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? He showed him how to pick and choose these fights and how to get this bread. You know what I mean? He just following the Mayweather train. He just doing it on a gangster way, you know what I'm saying? And his flaws is Mayweather, but you know what I mean? You know the words I'm looking for, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he following the footsteps of Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? Simple, you know what I'm saying? Get that bag. You'll never see Tank fight again. Why else? Why would he fight against? Who could he come back and fight after Jake Paul? Nobody, baby. Like and subscribe, you know my slogan. Let's tune in. Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis. We up next, November 15th.
Fans remain divided. Some see the fight as a disgraceful money grab that hurts boxing's credibility. Others say while it's disappointing, it's also understandable. Big money talks. A small group even admits they're curious to see how this bizarre mismatch plays out, even if it's more spectacle than sport.
Every boxing ring Jake Paul's ever stepped into has been an exhibition, in my opinion. Probably the only one that hasn't is the Tommy Fury fight, which he lost, because that was two guys, similar size, similar experience.
Similar age,
who had a white-collar style boxing match, a very raw novice boxing match. And I'm not here to dig into Jake Paul's boxing ability. I think for a kid that's got the wealth he has and is training the way he is, he's treating the sport outside the ring. He's treating the sport right. He seems to be putting the work in. I can see improvements when he's in there. He's still an absolute raw novice that would never ever get close to winning a British title, and that probably won't ever change. But he's obviously in love with the sport and the things that he's doing for women's boxing. Oh, got me back.
So what do you think? Is this fight a black eye for boxing, or the kind of hype the sport needs to stay relevant? Drop your verdict in the comments below.